Reddit, what was your first kiss like? So this thread will be in the description below, and this video will feature some of the best responses to this question. It was the greatest thing I've ever felt. Let me explain. Before I was 21, I had no self-esteem. I didn't like any part of my body, and I just didn't value myself as relationship worthy. But it worked with that girl. 9 out of 10 type of girl, totally out of my league. She kept smiling at me even though I was very timid, but I smiled back all the time. Then we talked, went on dates, studied together, and things escalated. I was ready for a life of loneliness, and I was sure I was going to die without even kissing a girl, not even on a dare. I was prepared for that, but then it happened. We were in my car, she had to go to work, so I dropped her off, but before she left my car, she just stared at me for a solid 10 seconds. I was like, F this, I am kissing her, and I did. And she kissed back. I felt like I could achieve anything. That kiss meant a lot to me. It was my first, and with the one I wanted. But most importantly, and a lot of you might think it's selfish, but most importantly, it gave me confidence. Since that day, I got to like myself. I knew I was worthy of happiness, and I knew what I had and what I lacked. I wasn't anxious of leaving home every morning for school or work. I could look at any woman in the eyes and have a normal conversation without cracking my voice because I am now equal to all of you. That first kiss made me want to live. It was magic. I'll never forget it. August 8, 2013. We were best friends for 8 years at that particular point, and she was coming back down here from the city. Decided I would go and visit her. We both had big crushes on the other, but were both way too shy to actually make a move. Until I did. We moved to the basement away from our nosy family, then I creeped up behind her, wrapped her in my arms, then nuzzled the back of her neck. Eventually she turned around, looked me in the eyes, and our lips met slowly, then with light force. After that, I continued to hold her from behind, and we stood in front of a hanging mirror and just gazed into each other's eyes for the longest times with smiles on our faces. And after that, we went outside to watch a beautiful sunset together. I'll never forget that day, and I miss her every single day. It seems that most people in this thread had a terrible experience, while mine was next to perfect. Some of my friends and I went to a river to camp and have a good time. And as the night carried on, we sat around the campfire talking and laughing. Meanwhile, I had this girl on my lap. This girl was basically everything I dreamed of. She was right tallness, 9 out of 10 appearance, and a great personality, funny, and all that. We all got tired and went to our tents. So we were about 6 people sharing 2 tents. I, the girl I liked, and one other girl went to one tent. As we laid there, the girl I was crushing on snuggled up close and started scratching my scalp, sort of. And after about 5 minutes of that, I gained enough courage and just went for it. It was amazing, and she's by far the best kisser I have met yet. We kissed for about 2 hours until we finally went to sleep. And that was one of the best nights in my life so far. I was 12, truth or dare on the bus home from a mountain weekend. She was the most popular girl in our little crew, super cute. I was intimidated, shaking a little even. Her lips were soft and moist. I was shocked, euphoric, triumphant, and simultaneously. I smiled and she smiled, and I went back for one more. And it was another success. I got teased a little bit, but nobody else did any kissing that day. It was a cold February night. I had just turned 17, as did he. We had been dancing around each other since I joined the school that September. We went to go see Black Swan together, and then he waited with me at the bus stop until my bus arrived. I was super nervous and didn't know what to do. He swept me in his arms and just went, "Come here," and then kissed me pretty well. It was awesome. 6 years later, and I'm not scared of kissing him anymore. My first kiss, I was only 15 at the time, and I just met a girl for the first time. We were getting on really well, so we went behind some recycling bins and had a kiss. It was fun, and I liked being 15. Now, this post was edited, and actually the poster realized he was 14 instead of 15, so just a tiny correction there. I was like 15, I think. I was sitting next to this girl I liked, and we were talking and laughing. I suddenly realized, wow, our faces are really close. I hadn't noticed that. Then she suddenly leaned forwards towards a little bit more and kissed me. It was a perfectly innocent kiss, no tongue or anything, well, not at first anyway, and it felt amazing. My mind kind of went blank, and you know how people talk about their hearts swelling? Yeah, that's what it felt like. However, it's such a shame she turned out to be such a manipulative in the end. I was 15 and had been spending quite a bit of time with an older boy who was about 17, and I had met at school. We were both clearly into each other. I had made up my mind before and it was time for the kiss, but I was so nervous since I had never kissed anyone before. He was over at my house one night and I remember spending the entire time trying to get up the nerve to kiss him. I'd get close to him, like within kissing distance, and then chicken out. Finally, it was close to the end of the evening. I was sitting on top of the stairs and he came and sat beside me. All of a sudden, he gently turned my face to his and kissed me, and it was perfect. I told him afterwards that I had been trying to kiss him all night and kept chickening out, and he was like, I know. After his dad picked him up, I was so giddy that my mom could even tell something was up because I couldn't stop smiling. We started officially dating not long after that and eventually got married and have been together for 15 years. It was disastrous. She was feeling brave and wanted to bite my lip for our first kiss. I had gotten scared, pulled away, and had butted her. Her nose bled for about 3 minutes, but needless to say, we never talked again. My first was at a Christian camp when I was 14, in which we had Western night. The swear dance instructed us, told us to kiss the girl on the lips, and I was the only one who did. It was gross. The guy just kept munching on my face as though he hadn't eaten in a week, and it was wet and sloppy. His glasses kept falling down and hitting me in the face as well. I went through about 3 tubes of lip balm afterwards, trying to heal my severely chapped lips. I was sitting on the couch. He and I had been quite close and flirty, but that was it. He was getting ready to leave and came over to where I was sitting. He leaned down and put his face close to mine and quietly looked into my eyes, like he was deeply curious about me. I sat there meeting his gaze and felt comfortably vulnerable. I couldn't guess how long we were there like that. The shallowness of my breath and my heart palpitating loudly in my ears made things like time drift away. He leaned closer and kissed me at first, close-mouthed and deep, and then what I later would find out, he was really good at open-mouthed kissing. He pulled back and looked at me some more and maintained his silence while smiled all the way into his eyes and left. Terrible. 14 years old. Went to the movies with a few of my friends and 2 boys someone knew from church. Danny, a sophomore, had that emo mysterious air around him. His dark bangs covering his eyes, his skin tight to jeans and black Chuck Taylors. Be still my freshman heart. He sat next to me at the movie and put his arm around my seat. The other 3 girls noticed and glared. Following the movie, Danny and I took a walk. We ended up sitting on a bench together in front of the hotel connected to the theater. I was sitting next to him talking when all of a sudden he pulled me into his lap and kissed me with tongue. I froze and I opened my mouth but my teeth remained closed. He was pretty much licking my teeth until I relaxed a bit and went with it. And I remember it felt so soft, a lot softer than I thought it would be, and very warm. We broke our kiss and a few minutes later my friends found us. He immediately pushed me off his lap like nothing happened. I later told my friends on a 3-way call that I got my first kiss from Danny. They didn't believe me for 1 second and they weren't even happy for me. None of them had been actually kissed before. The leader from our group berated and harassed me. They even went as far to ask him if we kissed, and he denied it. Even more ridiculed why the leader followed. I just remember yelling and crying saying, why don't any of you believe me because you're supposed to be my friends? Needless to say, I stopped hanging around them the following year, and I ended up stealing the leader's boyfriend. How do you like them apples? Fairly innocent with our mouths closed and puckered lips together. The hard part was trying to figure out how long we were supposed to hold that position, but I do remember feeling wonderful. That was with my neighbor in 4th grade, and there were a lot more firsts with her through the years. And then, well, we still keep in touch, hooking up when both of us are single. So, those are some responses that I have compiled for this video, and as promised earlier in the beginning, I will link this thread in the description below, so hopefully you guys had some fun watching. And also, if you want to recommend me a topic to read about, always feel free to comment it down below and I will get around to doing it, alright? So, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and obviously leave a like and comment down below what else you want me to put, and I shall get around to doing that. So, Raphael out, and I will see you in my next video.